Taylor Swift, full name Taylor Allison Swift, born December 13, 1989 in West Reading, Pennsylvania, United States, is an American pop and country music singer-songwriter whose tales of adolescent heartbreak earned significant acclaim in the early 21st century. Swift exhibited an early passion in music, and she quickly advanced from roles in children's theater to her first engagement in front of an audience of thousands. She was 11 years old when she performed the Star-Spangled Banner before a Philadelphia 76ers basketball game, and the next year she picked up a guitar and began writing songs. Swift created original content that expressed her experiences of preteen alienation, drawing inspiration from country music performers such as Shania Twain and the Dixie Chicks. Swift's parents sold their farm in Pennsylvania when she was 13 to go to Hendersonville, Tennessee, so she could dedicate more time to wooing country labels in nearby Nashville. Swift met recording industry veterans thanks to a development arrangement with RCA Records, and in 2004, at the age of 14, she signed with Sony/ATV as a songwriter. She sang many of her original songs at Nashville venues, and it was during one of these performances that she was recognized by record executive Scott Borchetta. Swift was signed to Borchetta's nascent Big Machine label, and her first single, Tim McGraw, based by and heavily referencing a song by Swift's favorite country musician, was released in the summer of 2006. Breathless debut album. Taylor Swift's. The song was an instant hit, spending 8 months on Billboard's country singles chart. Swift, now 16, released her self-titled debut album and went on tour with Rascal Flatts. Taylor Swift was certified platinum in 2007 after selling more than 1 million copies in the United States, and she proceeded to tour extensively, opening for musicians such as George Strait, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, and Faith Hill. Swift received the Country Music Association's CMA Horizon Award for Best New Artist in November, capping a year in which she emerged as country music's most visible young star. Swift displayed a sophisticated pop sense with her second album, Fearless, 2008, courting the mainstream pop audience without losing sight of her country roots. Fearless debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart with sales of over 500,000 copies in its first week. It eventually spent more time at the top of the charts than any other album released that decade. Singles like You, Belong With Me and Love Story were very popular in the digital market, with the latter garnering over 4 million paid downloads. Swift began on her first headline tour in 2009, performing to sold-out crowds across North America. Swift also dominated the industry award circuit that year. In April, the Academy of Country Music named Fearless Album of the Year, and in September, she won Best Female Video for You Belong With Me at the MTV Video Music Awards, VMAs. Swift was interrupted during her VMA acceptance speech by rapper Kanye West, who claimed that the award should have gone to Beyoncé for one of the best videos of all time. Later in the show, when Beyoncé accepted the award for Video of the Year, she summoned Swift on stage to finish her statement, a move that was criticized. Swift later that year made her feature film debut in the romantic comedy Valentine's Day and was selected the new CoverGirl Cosmetics ambassador. Although Swift avoided discussing her personal life in interviews, her music was surprisingly candid. Speak Now, her third album, was filled with references to romantic connections with John Mayer, Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, and Twilight series actor Taylor Lautner. Swift won the CMA Artist of the Year award again in 2011, and the following year she received Grammy nominations for Best Country Solo Performance and Best Country Song from You, a single from Speak Now. Swift maintained her acting career by lending her voice to the animated Dr. Seuss's The Lorax 2012 before releasing her next album, Red 2012. While she remained focused on the ups and downs of young love, her songwriting reflected a more mature view of the subject, and much of the album embraced a bold pop-rock sound. Red sold 1.2 million copies in its first week on the market in the United States, the highest one-week total in 10 years. Furthermore, its lead single, The Joyous We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, scored Swift her first Billboard Pop Singles Chart number 1. Swift released 1989 and 2014, an album named after the year she was born, allegedly influenced by the music of the time. Despite the fact that Swift had been gradually shifting away from the traditional country signifiers that distinguished her early work, I Knew You Were Trouble, the second single from Red, even experimented with electronic dance music, she referred to 1989 as her first official pop album. The album, which featured the peppy Shake It Off, proved to be another smash for Swift, outselling Red in its first week. It eventually sold over 5 million copies in the United States, earning Swift her second Grammy for Album of the Year. Swift also had a supporting role in The Last of Us in 2014. Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, and controversies are some of the themes explored in this novel. Taylor Swift's animosity with Kanye West resurfaced in 2016 after the release of his single Famous. Swift said that a lyric in the song referred to her as a bitch, and she claimed that it was misogynistic. The public feud erupted after West's wife, Kim Kardashian, leaked the phone call audio in which Swift branded her okay for the lyric, albeit West made no mention of calling her a bitch. Swift's difficulties resurfaced in August 2017, when she took part in a widely publicized legal lawsuit in which former radio host David Muller sued the singer, her mother, and a promoter, alleging that Swift falsely accused him of sexually molesting her in 2013 during the recording process. Swift left Big Machine in 2018 to sign with Republic Records and Universal Music Group. Her former label, which controlled the master recordings for her 6 albums, was sold the next year to Scooter Braun, a talent manager whose clients included Kanye West. Swift publicly criticized the transaction, stating that Borchetta had denied her attempts to obtain the master tapes and that Braun had bullied her for years. She later attempted to reach an agreement with Braun, but he sold her back catalog to a private investment firm in 2020. Against this backdrop, Swift began re-recording her early material in an attempt to regain control, hoping that her redone songs, rather than the originals, would be sought after. Taylor Swift's 7th studio album, Lover, was released in 2019, and she called it as a love letter to love itself. That same year, she starred in Cats, a film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's hugely successful stage production. The documentary Miss Americana, 2020, is about her life and work. Folklore was launched in 2020 with little notice. Swift's 8th studio album, a departure from her previous pop-inspired work, received accolades for its thoughtfulness and restraint, and it won the Grammy for Album of the Year. Evermore, the sister record, was released later in 2020. Swift used a synth-pop vibe for Midnights, 2022, which she described as the story of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life.